Good morning, class 8. Today we will be starting our second chapter, that is population dynamics. Population. What is population? Population is number of inhabitants that is present in a particular place. World population refers to the number of humans currently living in this world. Water covers approximately 72% of our Earth's surface, and more than 90% of the world's population lives only in 10% of Earth's land surface. India and China alone account for 60% of the world population. Most of the population is concentrated in the northern hemisphere comparison to the southern hemisphere. Not only in the world population unevenly distributed, but it is constantly undergoing changes in terms of size and composition. Population dynamics focuses on the changes taking place and their effect on population. As you know, at this time the very critical situation is going into this world, and with this the population graph has also changed in every country. Population dynamics can be defined as a branch of life science that studies the size and age composition of populations as dynamical. Dynamics is a branch of life science that studies the size and age composition of population as dynamic system, and the biological and environmental process driving this, such as birth rate, death rate, all are seen into it. Distribution of population in the whole world. You can see here is a map which shows that the population in our country. The colors are the density. Which country does have how much population? So that is the density. Now let's see. Population of the world or any country is not uniformly distributed, as due to different features are there. Some parts of the world are densely populated, where some parts are moderately populated and some parts are sparsely populated, but some parts are there where people cannot live also. The world's growing population has crossed the 7 billion mark as per the United States Census Bureau have said. The rate of overall growth is declining, but the actual increase continues at above 80 million per year. The map here is showing the uneven distribution of the population in the world, and mostly populated is this area. Population trends. Population has been constantly increasing except in times when there are different political crises or epidemics. At that time that population does not increase. Now at this moment for 2020 to 22, an epidemic is going on, so now the population rate is going down, but population is still growing. The population trends that have been witnessed in the past state that changes the population. After the middle of the 17th century, the rate of the world population have largely increased because the death rate has fallen down. Now the death rate has fallen down because there were many discoveries and medicines were discovered. People started living in a hygiene life. People knew what is good and what is bad for them, and that changed the death rate. Certain events in history shows a decline in population. Although population has always been constantly increasing, except during some events like diseases, plague that broke out in the Middle Age, AIDS broke out in Africa, natural disaster, that is floods, famine and earthquakes, during that also causes death rate. Political crises like the First World War, Second World War, Gulf War, etc. China, also policies like China have taken up So as China has earlier a policy where one child, which reduced the population of a certain extent in China, this child policy have been there, and later after it has been removed. Population density. What is population density? Population density means the pattern, refer to the pattern of how people are spread over the earth's surface. In simple terms, population density refers to the number of people living in a per unit area. Population density, the number of people by area. Population density provides us with an approximate measure of human-land relationship. This estimate is not the same throughout and varies from one geographical area to another, and may be classified as being densely populated to moderately populated or being sparsely populated. So this population densely populated regions include places near the rivers, countries which have developed in agriculture and industrially. Four major regions of the world where population is dense. Those are Eastern Asia, South and Southeast Asia, Western and Central Europe, and East Central North America. Here is the table that shows the rate of population. Okay.